Shatter the Vain, a podcast about Vainglory.
This is episode 81 of Shatter the Vain. My name is Brad Chmielewski, and this is a podcast all about Vainglory. Every week, or more likely the last couple of weeks have been two times a week. We're going over the news, gameplay, game tips, having interviews, and hopefully with all this knowledge, we're all becoming better players. I'm back with another episode here. We just put out that episode on Monday with Team Secret. Fantastic interview. I definitely recommend going back and listening. Or if you're hanging out on the YouTube page over at youtube.com/shatterthevain, go watch it. Really great episode, learning about those guys, hearing what they have been doing, what they're doing. And it's just a fantastic story, so I definitely recommend going and hearing what they have to say. So I'm back with a different episode again right now on this episode 81. So I recorded an interview with MYQ from SK Gaming. And rather than waiting so long to put that out, I figured I'd get it out here this week since we got the Team Secret interview and now the MYQ interview. So we'll get this two EU kind of spotlights done this week. So it's another little different episode. Again, I'm still going to go over some news here and jump into a random item, but I have that interview as well. So we're going to keep the news and the random item kind of light, and it's just going to be me. If you've been listening to Shatter the Vain since episode 1 or 2, back when they were only 10, 20 minutes, it was just me doing a solo podcast. That's kind of where the whole podcast started. It was kind of me wanting to do this solo one-man show. And then I realized that the community of Vainglory is really what makes it so great. So I've been having all these people on, joining me, talking about the game, and that's really how the podcast has evolved. And I really like doing that. So we're definitely going to continue that. So just because it's lonely old me here right now, don't worry, we'll be back with some more people very soon. But I'd love to hear if you're liking these interviews and more stepping outside of just the news and form static and all that stuff, because we could definitely do more of them, maybe break them up. Maybe 1 week is an interview, maybe 1 week is our normal news and everything. But let me know on Twitter at ShatterTheVain, or you can send me an email at shatterthevain@gmail.com. I know a few people have wrote in and let me know what they think, so always good to hear that. And I love getting the emails and hearing the feedback, and all the people that leave reviews on iTunes and just let me know how much they love the show. It means a lot to me. So with that long-winded intro here, let's jump into some news.
Vainglory News.
The first bit of news I want to talk about is Broken Myth, a fantastic website over at brokenmyth.net. They put up their 1.14 hero tier list. So usually midway through each patch, they kind of put together a list of where they think maybe the top heroes are. They don't put everyone in here, so some people get left out, I believe Rona and Petal may be left out of this list, but they try to let you know who's at the top and who you should be keeping an eye out for. So I definitely recommend going over there and checking out that list. This time I believe it was put together by Mr. Touch and Go. It might have been a collective of everyone, but he's usually the guy putting these together, co-leader of Team Smurf. So a couple things to note on this hero tier list is talking about the lane carries. We're seeing a lot more Saw. And we're seeing a lot more Saw because of VGL. Man, people are seeing that Saw buff comp. You get a Dagio and maybe a Finn or an Ardent in there, and then you got Saw, and you buff Saw, you push down the turrets, you win the game fast. You're also seeing Saw because of the breaking point change. Saw, he's the dude that dishes out a lot of damage, and that's what he wants to do, and with the breaking point changes, he's just able to do that even better than he used to. So you're seeing a bump up in Saw. He's still not, I think, the top pick, but he's not a get upset someone insta-lock Saw kind of pick. It's all right, dude, you pick Saw, let's do this. Let's I'll stand there. I'll protect you. Just Saw, do your thing. And then you got to check out, in this post too, they mentioned this Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything, with Saw. Saw did an AMA. I know the guys on the Arden Hour talked about this on Sunday. Go read some of these. These are hilarious. I'll include a link in the show notes as well. Really funny to hear that voice of Saw come through. And he's just a badass, man. Definitely really fun. And if you listen to another podcast I do, the Lane podcast, our Hero Select we're going to be doing for episode 82 is going to be Saw. So we're all going to be playing Saw this week. Myself, Jake Williams, Brad Stark from the Lane. We'll be playing some Saw, and we're going to come back and talk about them on that show. So get ready for that. In the Lane carry position, you're seeing at the top, I still think to ban out Sky. Like, Sky's annoying to me. She's still really strong. She's not one of the top picks on their list, but that mobility is just so great for her. But at the top for the lane carries right now, you're seeing Vox and Ringo. Classics, man. Vox, he has never not been strong. He's just always a fantastic hero. Late game, that crystal just wrecks people. And then Ringo, again, with the breaking point changes, he's just still great. You were seeing some of those, like Sorrowblade, straight into breaking points. You're kind of seeing a little bit different of a builds now. That Sorrowblade tornado trigger kind of build is really nice on Ringo, and his damage is just fantastic. So I think always having a really strong laner, like if it's Vox, Ringo, or even Scarf in your pocket, those three are usually somewhere in the top, so I'd recommend having them. Now, in the jungle, we saw Ozo. He's getting played a little bit, but he's not up there on the top. I think people are still figuring him out. It's just like Rhyme. We're seeing Fuji play him in the VGL, and he plays him fantastic, but you get someone else on your team, or even yourself, and your Rhyme play just doesn't stack up. But we're also seeing the top jungle carries coming out are Sky. Told you got to ban Sky, man. She's annoying. Fortress. We'll get into some more Fortress here in a minute. And then Kashka. So we're seeing that blue and red Sky happening. Blue Sky is still really strong. I still prefer it over red Sky, but you can definitely see him going both ways there. Fortress. He has come out strong, and it's kind of changed his role from our protector initiator, and he's kind of just in there being our carry. We'll go over Fortress here in a little bit, in the news a little bit more. There's some funny form static about this, so we'll get into him. And then Kashka, man, Playoff Beard must be excited. Kashka returns. I think Playoff Beard and Kashka just go together. As soon as Kashka starts to fall out of the meta, you got to know Playoff Beard is in there saying, bring her back, bring her back. She's also kind of the face of Vainglory. You see her a lot on the posters, on their advertising, so it's always good to keep her, I think, in there so when other new players pick her up, they don't feel like she's just weak, that she's a potato or anything like that. So, but she is doing a ton of damage, jumping in there, getting out. I've even tried the support Kashka again, the tank Kashka build that some of us are so familiar with when that was a lot of fun. But her Pouncy Fun and Yummy Catnip Frenzy are just great for her, great for her kit, and she can clear the jungle very quickly. So those are probably your three people in the jungle from this hero tier list. And then the support role, although Arden got some nerfs, that dude is still strong. He's just got to be closer to you in the fights doing some damage. I ran into a really great Arden build. It was support Arden, but he built the tornado trigger, which I think is probably the way to go if you want some offense on Arden right now. I'll probably be posting a video sometime soon here, testing this out. I watched him take the minion miner or the gold miner by himself. Took like 0 damage because he had all that health and all that shield, and then he's just punching for days. So he's still strong, and he's going to be closer to you now, so he can help bring the beat down to somebody. And then my girl Catherine, she's top tier right now according to Broken Myth, and I couldn't agree with your heroes like Blackfeather and Sky, and even Taka's popping up every now and then, and Fortress too, jumping in there. Having someone with an instant clickable stun that can just lock someone down and then you and your team melt them away, can't beat that. So you're seeing a lot more Catherine. You're seeing Adagio when people want to pick that Saw and run a little bit of that buff comp or even the buff Vox comp, something like that, but not as much as Catherine and Arden. So support mains, Catherine and Arden, still top tier. So that is the Broken Myth hero tier list for 1.14. I'll include a link in the show notes. Go read this, see what they think. There's lots of people who have opinions about it and say they're wrong, but this is their thoughts. This is what they're seeing in their games right now. And what I've been kind of seeing too, you're seeing a pretty wide range of heroes getting picked. So kudos to Super Evil Megacorp for that. Just making a pretty balanced patch, although stuff like Fortress and things like that are kind of surfacing to the top. But for the most part, no one's too upset when you pick someone, so that is very nice. So also then moving on in the news, we're blazing through the news here because I want to get to this interview for you guys. VGL is happening. It's going on, man, and these games are getting intense. We're almost to the semifinals. I believe we're in the round of 16 here coming up this weekend. We have quite a few really good teams here to be watching over the weekend. So first off, Vainglory League tweeted an image that shows the points of where everyone's at. We already know some of the teams that are going to be at the live championships. On the EU side, you have Team Secret. Awesome guys, check out that interview. You have Snow Tsunami and Rebel Tigers. They will definitely be going to the live championships, the Winter Live Championships. And then on the NA side, you have Gangstar Sirius, Alliance, and Nemesis Hydra, who will definitely be at the live championships here in a couple weeks, less than a month. I think we're less than a month away from those, so get ready for those. As these points even out, we'll see some more teams who are guaranteed going. So check out this image and see where everyone stands and root your favorite team on. And then for VGL, that's happening this weekend. Kicking off, Saturday. Usually kicks off kind of early here, especially those EU matches. All these matches are going to be great. On the Catherine bracket, we're going to have Team Secret, they're the first seed in there, versus Original Gangster. And then we'll also have SK versus G2. And so I'm predicting we're going to see a Team Secret SK game probably out of that match, but we'll have to see what happens. In the Adagio bracket, we have Snow Tsunami versus Kill One Touch. Kill One Touch has been a lot of fun to watch. If you haven't been watching some of these VGL matches, keep an eye on them. They're coming out of nowhere here. And then we have Rebirth of Empire versus Rebel Lion. I'm not sure how either one of these are going to go. I hope this Snow Tsunami and Kill One Touch game get streamed, because Seed 1 versus Seed 12 is going to be interesting to watch. In the Ozo bracket, on the EU side, we have Rebel Tigers versus Angry Pandas White, and then we have G2 versus ZG. So I'm not too familiar with ZG. We'll have to see how those games go. And then the final bracket is SK Prometheus versus TNW, and then Snow Avalanche versus Angry Pandas Black. So 2 Angry Pandas teams. Very interesting. We got 2 SK teams, 2 Snow teams. Definitely those organizations that are, showing great players, bringing it here. So these matches will happen on Saturday. And then on the NA side, much more familiar with these teams than the EU teams. I'm sorry to all the players over there. But yeah, let's go through the bracket here real quick. In the Catherine bracket, we have Gangstar Sirius versus Team Vain Nation. Man, Team Vain Nation has been on a tear lately. They took down Liberation Y in a 2-0 series in their previous match. So we'll see what Gangstar Sirius can do. I'm rooting for them. I'm in Gangstars. Got to represent, man. I think Fuji, Iraqi, and Gabe Vizzle, they can take down Vain Nation. And then we also have Von Menace versus HH Connect. So that's the Halcyon Hammers, the Xenotech team with D'Enzio and a lot of other players. That one should be a really good match to watch as well. In the Adagio bracket, we have Alliance, the first place, the team that won at the VIPL. So it's been a lot of fun to see how they've been evolving with their new roster, and they're versing Nemesis Titan. And then we also have Vertigo Black versus Team Phoenix. I think that should be an interesting game to watch down there, see how Team Phoenix is doing, coming into, not the scene because we've seen these players a lot, but seeing what they can do together under, I guess, one roof now. In the Ozo bracket on the NA side, we have Nemesis Hydra versus Gangstars Polaris, and then we have Halcyon Hammers Velocity versus Team Phoenix Rising. I think all two of these games should be pretty close. I'm not sure how many we're going to get streamed, if we're going to get all of them, or just one from each bracket. I'm not sure how quickly they will make them through. Then the Ringo bracket, we have Gangstars Vega versus Rage Pingers, and then we have Liberation X versus Vertigo Diamond. So Vertigo Diamond is the 6th seed, and Liberation X is the 2nd seed. Wow, so Vertigo Diamond coming through here on this. And then so we have all 3 of Gangstar's teams making it to the round of 16 here. So kudos to them. Those guys are showing that they are great players and doing something awesome. So that's VGL. Go watch it. Tune in if you're into the esports scene at all. I can't recommend it enough. I think they're doing some great stuff. And I know the live finals, the live championships, they're going to be great this year. The teams and the production, I'm going to be amazed by it. I know. Next bit of news is this Carry Fortress thing that is wrecking everyone on the fold. I wouldn't say everyone, but it's troublesome for people. So you're seeing a lot of blue fortresses, that Crystal Power Fortress coming through, and people don't know how to deal with it because, one, for so long we've been seeing Fortress as our Rome, our support player. But so I tweeted out this morning, like, I'm still not used to seeing a Carry Fortress. And Wolfhands tweeted back, like, go look at it as a description in the market. In the marketplace, it shows Fortress as a warrior first and then an initiator. So you got that initiator role, which is kind of your roam. Like, although I use roam and support interchangeably, roam to me is also someone that definitely roams and moves around the map from one lane to the other, where protector like makes sure people survive. And so being the roam is kind of the initiator, where you're jumping into the fight, you're getting started. Almost similar to an assassin, but you're not going to burst someone down as quickly as maybe an assassin would, but you're going to jump in there, you want to be in there first, you want to get a bunch of damage off. But that warrior role is very interesting for Fortress because we have Glaive, Ozo, Rona, Jewel, and Cruel. They're all warriors as well. So I think we need to get out of our head that Fortress is Rome, is our protector. He's not a protector. He's a fighter. He's got some bite on him. I do think this damage on his wolf pack is a little too strong, and I'm sure we'll see some nerfs for that here in 1.15, probably in a couple weeks here. There's definitely a long forum post about people complaining about this, saying this is the most OP I've ever seen. I would say that is not the case. Scarf 1.3 was probably what I thought was the most OP, and then Tank Koshka was kind of ridiculous. This Fortress damage, it's strong, I went against the fortress that decided to play very passively all early game, and so me and my team farmed up. We got a couple kills, and it just messed him up. Fortress has got to go in there. He's got to do the damage. He wants to fight. Start off. Don't be scared. So there's ways to counter this fortress aggression, especially with your assassins like Taka and Kashka, who can go in there and burst him down because he doesn't have a lot of health. He's kind of a squishy hero. So don't be afraid to fight him and take him down. Don't be afraid of the dog. So we'll probably see some changes on that, but head over to the forums if you have any thoughts on carry fortress, especially the crystal power that we're seeing. And the last bit of news, since we're doing this in the middle of the week, I guess the end of the week technically here, it's Friday, we can mention the free hero rotation, and you guys have more time to play it. So the changes on Tuesday, with the changes for 8 heroes needed for ranked, I know everyone's trying to get more glory, get those heroes, and see which heroes they like. So this is a perfect time, especially if you're a new player, to figure out someone that you want to play, that you want to pick up, that you want to add to your roster. So this week we have Kashka, Adagio, Vox, Kestrel, Cruel, and Sky. So Cruel seems in a weird spot right now, but I think, like I said, Kashka, she's on the top of the jungle tier list right now. How could you pass up being able to play her in the free hero rotation if you don't own her? I would definitely own her if I was you. I think she's well worth it. Usually a safe pick a lot of time. And then you got Vox to practice. If you haven't picked up Vox, master that dude, learn him, figure him out, because he's always wrecking people, and you see people like Xenotech who are just playing him and have been playing him since the release, and what they do with Vox is just amazing. So check that out. And then Kestrel, maybe nerfed a little too hard for 1.14, but everyone, I think, was glad to see that. They were getting sick of getting beat by the early game Kestrels, but this is a good time to start practicing Kestrel, get used to those skill shots, and getting used to that arrow reload, because I think we will see her back in 1.15. All right, so that does it for all the news. That took way longer than I thought it would. A few things I want to talk about, especially since we hadn't talked about the news in so long. We've been on this interview kick. A lot of great stuff happening in the scene. But now I want to jump into an interview here with MYQ that from SK Gaming. Recorded this a few days ago, so we're gonna jump into that, and then we'll come back and talk about a random item, and then we'll get out of here.
Now for an interview.
I got a special interview for everyone here on this episode. I got MYQ from SK Gaming joining me. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me here.
Is that correct, MYQ?
Yeah. That's
okay.
Exact.
It's I feel like I'm gonna say it wrong just because it is just 3 letters, but this is great having you here.
Yeah. Thanks. Pleasure's mine.
For people that don't know who you are, you want to take a moment and introduce yourself. Who are you, and your role in SK Gaming?
Okay. So yeah, I'm Martin Marquardt, known for the in-game name MYQ. I'm the head manager of the SK Mobile section and take care of pretty much the background work for the organization itself, and particularly for the Vainglory teams and players.
Okay.
Making sure that processes and projects are running in terms of payments, flow of information, and that our players find themselves in a healthy and professional environment.
Okay.
I'm also working very close with Arthur, known as a medic, and he's more responsible for the scheduling part and training sessions. Yeah,
okay.
But we both act like managers of the Vainglory SK section.
Okay. SK didn't have any mobile scene or presence before this, did they?
Actually, we have Hearthstone.
Oh, okay.
And we count that in to the mobile section as well.
Okay. I always forget that that's also on mobile. It goes back and forth so easily that it doesn't seem strictly mobile.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, also for the professional part of it, most of the players play it on desktop PCs.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. So I guess that's stepping back before we get into like how the SK Gaming Vainglory thing happened. Like, what got you into Vainglory to begin with?
It was when I first read about Vainglory, it was on an online article, and to be honest, I was very skeptical that a mobile game will work on a mobile platform.
Okay.
But when I got my hands on the game, I was seriously impressed how natural and intuitive it felt.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I just tried it and I stick to it.
Were you playing any other MOBAs beforehand?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I played Dota for about 13 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like Dota and Dota 2 is definitely bigger in the EU scene than it is here in NA. Just like that, just see you hear a lot more stories and you hear about players playing Dota 2 over there than here more often.
Yeah, true. But also, I think last year, Evil Geniuses won the International Cup. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I've never played Dota 2. I've played League of Legends, but never played Dota 2. It seems like not joining it years ago. It seems daunting to dive into that game at this point.
Yeah, you need to spend a lot of time
Uh-huh.
to get into this game. That's true.
So you're playing that pretty regular, and you came across Vainglory. You're hesitant about it, but what about the game kind of captured your, I guess, attention or like love for it?
Yeah, I think it was just the basic idea of playing it with your bare hands.
Okay.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I don't know. It was just I quit Dota from one day to another for this game, and I felt like this has so huge potential,
Uh-huh.
and it just was so nice to play it, get to know new players, and
Mm-hmm.
be part of something which is like developing.
Right, yeah. When you were playing Dota 2, did you ever have like a passion to be a professional gamer or think that opportunity would arise?
Not really. I would say I was more on the casual side of playing Dota. There was I think 1 or 2 years pretty much at the end where I played Dota 2 on a semi-professional level
Okay.
with other players, but yeah, I invested a lot of time in playing, not seriously enough. That's why the chance never arose for me to go really professional.
Sure. Yeah, you hear about all these players that are professional and just how many hours they put in. You're like, yeah, I don't think I can commit to that.
Exactly.
So as you were playing Vainglory and getting involved in the community, Red formed, right? Like that's kind of where the original, I guess, your team and your group of, I guess, friends came to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, Red was something we built pretty much with 3 players, as 3 players.
Oh, okay.
We got to know each other in a former team, which was one of the first so-called guilds in Europe, called GNV,
Okay.
a French guild. And we just decided, because we built so much synergy to work together, and found a new team. And yeah, from there on, it was just we participated in events. We were very successful, and players wanted to join us. They saw that we are on the top of the European scene, for example, jetpacks, and
Right.
yeah, that's how it went.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it seemed like you guys, your name was always coming up. You guys were doing a lot of good stuff in the community. You had shirts and hats and all this like fun stuff before anyone was even like, oh, maybe we need that. Maybe what should we do?
Yeah, true.
It just seemed like you guys just had it more organized and together. Is that something like, were you trying to make Red into, I guess, a big team, like I guess the number one Vainglory team? Was that like the ultimate goal there?
I think that was one approach of us, actually, to be and to remain on the top spot of the European scene. But we always went for the idea that we really want to be something exclusive in terms of the esports industry, like a professional esport club just for the mobile gaming section, and that was the basic idea, and we were successful in the one part, and the other part is just, well, we will see what happens with mobile gaming in general.
Right.
And sports.
Sure. So then, I guess as Red was, I guess, winning and like more attention was on them, on you guys, that's when SK Gaming kind of got interested.
Yeah, I think SK Gaming, it was a special situation. This all happened when I was luckily invited to the European Esports Conference last year. And there I met the managing director of SK and also the CEO of Fnatic, and I found myself in a panel discussion with them about like how to professionalize gamers. And during the breaks, we had some great talk, and the managing director of SK was convinced that mobile gaming will play a big role in the future of esports.
Was that, I guess, did that seem like a weird or awkward panel, like, you know, Fnatic and SK and you up there?
Then Red Gaming, I mean, it was, as I said, it was luckily that they were interested into us. There was an esports conference in San Francisco some months before, and they had also at the Shred there, and he talked about mobile gaming, so they were really interested in the mobile gaming section in general. So
so they, I guess how'd the process go? Was it just kind of like, let's make this happen? Would you guys want to come on board, or did you guys have to like prove yourself and go win some tournament and be like, all right, now we got the prize?
I think it was just it was just a call, the meeting, final decision on our side that we take this chance to become part of SK Gaming, and that's where we are right now.
What did it seem like? You guys were the first, I guess, guild organization to get I don't want to say gobbled up, but like approached and like taken in by I guess a bigger organization. It seems like a very unique case and unique story to have. Like,
I mean there was one team acquired before by Gamers
G2, yeah, that's
G2,
right.
G2, yes, yeah. But of course, I mean SK Gaming has kind of a different standing because it's so established esports organization. They are in the industry for so long, and the name is brought all over the world already. And
right. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then when they took you in, like the roster of SK's Vainglory team is like massive. There's like about a dozen people on there.
Yeah, not exactly this amount, but yeah, indeed. I mean, usually you don't see this, right? You don't see like a professional organization coming up with 2 or more teams, and these teams are attending in one event. But we have the resources to do so.
Okay.
And also the rules allow it, so we go for it. But yeah, on the other side, it's also very hard. I mean, keeping the family spirit at the same time as caring about the individual needs of players. Yeah, it's a hard task to master.
Yeah, it does, I guess, help that like you can have 2 teams and one team can be competing in the VGL while another team's in Korea in the VIPL. So they're doing the same thing but almost in different places.
Yeah, I mean when there are international events running at the same time, of course we have the capabilities of sending one to this event if we are getting invited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When the SK team went to Korea, was this like a moment where maybe you and everyone in SK Vainglory were kind of feeling like this is like a real thing now? Like, oh, you're in the esports world.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the exact point where our players felt the pro gamer thing is like becoming real.
Okay.
But it definitely helped a lot to those who attended. I mean, some of them were already in Korea before. I think for the Vainglory World, what was it? World
The
Invitational.
Invitational, yeah.
Yeah, and they got some experience from that. But yeah, I mean, when the deal was like officially made and we got some stuff from SK, people are running with these nice hats and
Right.
all the stuff. It just became real. Yeah.
Man, that's it's like fun. It had to be exciting to like, I guess, like tell your friends and everyone like, yeah, SK, you probably watched these guys on Twitch or maybe gone to an event and like, yeah, I'm part of them now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I always dreamed about like being a professional gamer or something, and yeah, when the opportunity arose, it was just crazy for myself.
And so the teams, like, what are the teams now? The two teams are Prometheus and I'm blanking on the other name.
It's Chimera.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What are the two rosters of these teams?
So we have one 5-man roster and one 6-man roster.
Okay.
We have a 6-man roster for SK Prometheus, which is the main roster is Leon, Jetpacks, and Valdemar.
Okay.
And we have on the substitute role Bayou and Red Wolf. And let me see. I don't want to mess this up
Okay.
right now. We have so many players, as you
know.
already mentioned. But yeah, so we have also people, like very well prepared and good players on the substitute roles, and on the Chimera team it's Medic, Cream, and AD0, which
Okay.
we know also from VIPL, and then 2 substitutes, which includes myself.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to step back from playing professionally anyways, so if there's an emergency, I will jump in and I will be also prepared and
Right.
trained. But yeah,
I think, you kind of need those subs, especially in a mobile game like this where everyone's not playing, like going to a studio, like League of Legends and Riot does. Like everyone shows up, they play. Right now everyone's at their house or even at a gaming house, and something could go wrong. Like the internet could drop out or the iPad could, completely die on them. So I think having these subs is, I guess, a different idea than some of these other games.
Yeah, it's super crucial.
Mm-hmm. And then having yourself as a sub, like you're probably more responsible. I think Pawn by Ukrainian, he's a sub on one of the teams just for the fact that like, hey, I can be here if something happens. Trust me.
Yeah. You have to support on all the ways, right?
Yeah. So if you're just a sub and you're in this manager role now, do you even get to play the game that often?
Yeah, not that often. That's why I also want to step back from playing, because I can't compete at the highest level, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will play almost on a daily basis when I can, and also train with the real players. And yeah, I think I can keep up my skills.
Right, at least maintain a little bit there, right? You don't want to fall so behind that.
Yeah.
That's cool. So now that like SK Gaming and Team Secret and G2 have come into the EU and are interested in these teams and guilds and organizations, like why don't you think we've seen any NA teams yet or organizations like TSM or Cloud9 come in here yet into the NA scene? Like what's special about EU?
I wouldn't say there's something special with the EU. I mean, esports in Europe has always been like big, and I think for America this will just come with time. I'm not worried at all about American esports and teams getting acquired by professional organizations, and I feel like 2016 is the main year of growth, as we already see rapidly increased numbers of players, viewers, and also the prize money. So they are just a bit hesitating maybe, but they will move on to this. And
do you think they're like, are they waiting for that perfect moment, as if it's like a big tournament, or as soon as maybe the ESPN starts, having Vainglory on their new esports site or something? Are they waiting for like the legitimized moment?
Well, I really don't want to judge this. I don't know why they are waiting with this for so long, because as early as you start with it, you can earn some experience, and it's actually a good good point when you really do one of the first steps in your country or in your region.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I'm sure I bet they all talk to each other because they don't want someone to be the first and then have to play catch up and right, like, oh no, they did it, we got to get in there. Who's available? That's like the C team. Oh, we don't want that. Yeah, I'm excited to see as these other organizations get in and more people start to find Vainglory and get excited for it. It's cool. So with the VGL coming up, or the second qualifier here, like what's planned for SK? Is it just go in and win that kind of thing? Is that the hope?
Yeah, I think the main strategy is always to win.
Yeah.
But hopefully we will qualify with both teams for the winter season live finals in London. And bring the title home. And then we will aim definitely for an international event, for winning finally an international event and bring the title to the European community, because they are all waiting for this. And we were kind of, I wouldn't say underperforming, but we couldn't show really what we are capable of.
Okay.
And the VIPL and in Korean events right now.
Yeah, we don't know. Well, most of us, or I guess anyone who's probably not in these top teams organizations, don't know what the qualifier is for the VIPL this year. They haven't announced that, so I'm sure we'll find that out pretty soon and get some more info on that. But so is there a good chance we will see both SK teams at the live championships?
There's a good chance, for sure. I mean, for the brackets, it's tough again, but we want to. I mean, the viewers want to see tough games and tough.
Right.
So but I'm super excited, and at the same time, I think we can do it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like the teams are getting better, both here in NA and EU. Like, you're watching these matches and like looking at the brackets, and you're like, holy moly! Like, these teams and these players like are really good.
Yeah, I mean, they invest also a lot of time, right?
Right.
So there has to be an improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does seem like more people are definitely getting paid to play, like putting in the time and like, figuring out some different comps and strategies that do work. So it's the games are more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, theory crafting and all the background work is like getting more and more interesting for teams, for the professional organizations. I'm super excited when I see stuff from Gangsters coming up. They come with all the sheets and the graphs, and I mean, it's theory crafting even before patches out. It's helping a lot.
Right. Owen's over there puts together a massive amount of data all the time. It's nuts. So do you see, as the VGLs are happening, like they happen so fast, do you think we'll get to League of Legends, Dota style size with the Vainglory? Is it kind of tough to say? Like the mobile growth, we keep hearing the numbers and like seeing the, I guess, projected trends of like, it's going to happen, but
I'm not sure, but I hope so. And I mean, when you just compare the bare numbers of growth in player base for the first year for the games like League of Legends and Vainglory, you will find out that Vainglory grew already faster.
Okay.
I mean, of course, the release of League of Legends was, I don't know, 7 years ago.
Yeah,
7 years ago. Yeah. It's like, of course, different state of time, but Vainglory in theory, I mean, Vainglory as a mobile title could attract definitely more people worldwide than what we know any PC platform game has done so far.
Yeah. So do you think there's any stigma of like telling someone like, oh yeah, I play this game professional on an iPad versus, oh yeah, I play professionally on the computer or Xbox? Like, is there something different? Do people like take it like, oh, you're practicing, like you're just on your phone sending messages or playing Candy Crush?
Yeah, I think for now we have this. This is currently what we see, actually, when I'm honest. People not really taking it serious when you say that you play a hardcore game on a mobile device. But if they take a closer look to the game, they will definitely be proven wrong. So yeah, we have to work on that. We have to show the people. We have to maybe marketize the game a bit more. I would be so glad to see Vainglory being played on a real like big tournament broadcast, for example, I don't know, Intel Extreme Masters or something like that, where you reach so many, where you reach just so many people who never have seen something like that before. And when we when this part or when this situation comes through there, it will change. It will change definitely.
Yeah, I think that seeing the stuff at PAX and when I was at TwitchCon, like when you see him on the stage and other people are, walking by or like tuning in and just like, what is this game? They're playing on that. It kind of, it's almost a double take right now for people. They're like, whoa, I need to check this out. Like, whoa, it's really interesting.
Yeah. I had the same experience when we were at Gamescom last year, and lots of casual League of Legends players just came by and started to look twice, and then they tried it, and then you saw them already playing the game on a real good level because the transition is very easy.
Right, yeah. And then I guess a final question before we wrap this up here. Like, so you had the skill, you started, you got into the game. I hear these stories from a lot of people that either start working for Super Evil or just go on this path. Like, they were just kind of like doing, I guess, their dream and doing it for, I guess, the love of the game at this point, since we're talking about Vainglory. Any advice you'd share with people who are either like trying to run a guild right now or trying to do this professionally as far as Vainglory goes?
Yeah, I think, what always counts is that stick to your dream, try to work hard for it. For the pro players, there's much more than being good at the game. You need great social skills, the willingness to improve, and some charisma. So it's hard to say. There are so many ways where you can help the game and the community grow. Mm-hmm. And if you find something where you're really good at, just find some comrades, some guys who want to support you, want to work with you, and you can do it.
It seems like the path of the professional gamer is, I guess, even harder and more of a dream than, I guess, just working for Super Evil. Like, I guess they both seem like when you're just getting into the game, you're like, this would be awesome if I could do this full time, and then, or maybe work on this game. Like, they're both pretty fantastic ideas or thoughts when you just start it up. So hearing those stories from people of just like, wow, you did this for so long just because you liked this game and you were interested in it, and now you're doing it for real. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there are lots of stories about it, actually. For myself as well. I just did it
right.
as a hobby after my real job, and invested so much time, but finally, I'm doing this full time now.
That you tell your wife or your friends or your mom, you're like, yeah, look, this game paid off.
Always parents judge you when you're young, and they tell you, well, this is gaming. You're gonna waste your time, kid.
Yeah.
And then some years later, you come up and say, well, this time was really worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, MYQ, thanks for joining me. Where can people get in touch with you or learn more about SK Gaming? Twitter, website?
Yeah, exactly. So our Vainglory guys all have Twitter accounts. You can follow them. They almost daily tweet there. You can find our players on Twitch. Some of them are streaming, and whenever there are news about rosters or games, upcoming tournaments for SK Vainglory, just check our website, skgaming.com.
Okay, I'm looking forward to watching the teams play in this coming VGL, so good luck, and thanks for joining me. I love hearing those stories from these players, these pro players, and how they how they got into this game and what they're doing with it. I hope you guys enjoyed that too, and definitely be rooting for SK here in the coming VGL brackets happening this weekend. So cheers to MYQ and SK Gaming for taking some time and joining me on Shatter The Vain. So let's jump into a random item.
Random item.
For the random item on episode 81, I want to talk about the Atlas Pauldron. So there was a forum post I saw on the Vainglory forums just about like, why don't people pick up Atlas Pauldron? It's such a good item. This guy, he seemed mad. He was like, definitely pick this up. You need to build an Atlas Pauldron supports. Do it. Get it as your, he said, first or second item. I'm going to say no. Atlas Pauldron as your first item is very dangerous unless you're maybe going against a Cruel or a Saw that's definitely wrecking you early game. But I still think the Fountain for your first item as your support is probably better, but don't underestimate the Atlas Pauldron. The reason I think you don't see as many people supports pick this up is, one, you don't have a lot of gold as a support. So you get your Fountain, you got your boots, maybe you got a contraption, maybe you got a Warhorn, and then you're thinking about Crucible or Atlas Pauldron then. And you need to start making money in order to get that second or third support item. So that's why you don't see it until so late sometimes, which is unfortunate because it is a very strong item. This guy says you should build Atlas Pauldron if you're going up against a Cruel, a Saw, a Glaive, a Kashka, a Weapon Taka, a Vox, a Rona, a Blackfeather. So almost every hero that can kill you very quickly. Like build it. So let's quickly go over what the Atlas Pauldron does, and then we'll go over like maybe not all those heroes you need to build the Atlas Pauldron on, but maybe why you do need to build it. So the Atlas Pauldron is a tier 3 defense item. It's an activatable item. So right off it gives you 80 plus 85 armor and plus 35 shield. When you activate it, after a short delay, it reduces attack speed of nearby enemies. So it could do all nearby enemies. It's an area of effect thing. Reduces the attack speed of nearby enemies by 65% for 5 seconds. And this is in like a 4-meter range, so it's not huge or anything. It does not reduce it below their base attack speed animation. So that's just a technical loophole there. I know it doesn't, if you're not building attack speed items, it doesn't go even slower than that. So there is a cutoff here. So one issue with the Atlas Pauldron is there is a short delay with activating it. You need to be close to someone needs to jump on you, you got to get in the fight, and then you want to pop it. Because someone like Taka or Kashka or even Blackfeather are going to be, they're in and out before it even hits them, and you're kind of missing the whole point of it. And then you got to wait for the cooldown, which isn't super long, but there is a cooldown on it. So building this item, I think against the Glaives and the Ringo, that's a no-brainer. Vox, that dude is jumping around a lot, so it's hard to get on the Vox. Blackfeather, if you go against like a Blackfeather, you see a lot of people wanting to build Atlas Pauldron on a Blackfeather. I don't think that's necessary because he's not auto-attacking too much because he's probably ulting you, he's getting his Heartthrob stacks on you, he's using his abilities more to assassinate you because he is an assassin, rather than getting in there and auto attack over and over again, like someone like Ringo or Saw that want to get out that DPS on you. But this guy's thought on Kashka was very interesting. I never thought about building an Atlas Pauldron on a Kashka because she's a crystal carry. And I always think, well, I want to reduce the attack speed, and attack speed is on weapon carries. But on Kashka, as she auto attacks, it reduces the cooldown of her other abilities. So that's a very, I guess, interesting point. Like, I could see that being effective on Akashka, because if she can't auto attack you and get her, her twirly up or pouncy fun and get back in the fight or out, she's not as effective. So that's definitely an interesting point. But Atlas Pauldron, don't underestimate this item on the supports. If you're the carry, go with the metal jacket because you want to be in the back line. Unless you're playing a carry like maybe a Black Feather or Rona that do want to jump in there, then maybe the Atlas Pauldron just to help your team. But on someone like Ringo, if you're going up against a strong weapon team, get yourself a metal jacket. But supports, think about that Atlas Pauldron a little more. Don't underestimate it because it can win you some fights and it can mess up a lot of people's stutter step. I think that's also key. Even though it reduces the attack speed, it can screw with people's stutter step and then they're out of rhythm and then they can't attack you. Even they're not even attacking as fast as they could be. So that's Atlas Pauldron. Check it out. So that's going to do it for episode 81 of Shatter the Vain. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and listening to all these episodes and supporting me, watching them on YouTube. Thank you to all the people that have been backing me on Patreon over at patreon.com/shatterthevain. That's awesome. I can't believe that. And hopefully, if you can do it, come over there, donate, and hopefully we can do more with the show, do more episodes, get some merchandise out there for you guys. I know that's a high on my list of things I want to get to. But if you're liking the show, be sure to subscribe. There's a link in the show notes, a link on the website. Subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher. Leave those reviews. I love seeing those. I try to tweet them out and just say thank you every time I see one. So I greatly appreciate those. And more people can find the show. When you leave reviews and you subscribe, it bumps it up in iTunes. That means it's higher in the rankings. That means more people are interested, clicking on it, and then maybe playing Vainglory. And then the website, shatterthevain.com. All the episodes are posted there. Like I said, links to the Stitcher, iTunes, the YouTube videos there, the SoundCloud. And then on the YouTube page, I'm doing other Vainglory videos, so check that out. Be sure to subscribe as well. So that'll do it. Thanks again to MYQ for joining me. Thank you for listening and or watching, and we'll be back soon with episode 82.
Shatter the Vain.
Let's get this over with.